Okay, we're going around the state as college basketball season approaches, talking with the head coaches here. So joining me today is Coach Sellers of Central. So, Coach, welcome back.
Hey, Jared. Happy to be back. Happy to be back. Excited for the new season.
Yeah, we were talking before we hit record, and I can't believe it's already year three for you at Central. I feel like we were just talking after the press conference, and here we are heading into year three. How does it feel for you now, going into 3 years in the job here?
Yeah, much more comfortable now. It's kind of all over the program. We the first year we brought in 8 newcomers, 7 freshmen, and a sophomore. And now these guys are juniors, and we got a veteran group. They understand stuff. We were watching film today, and like we're just talking, and it's like adults making decisions on the court. So it's a lot more fun when they know what they're doing. So it's been good so far.
So take me through, I know we're probably a few weeks here into the preseason in terms of practices and what you've been able to do. Kind of give me some early thoughts on your team and how you're feeling about them at this point here, getting ready for the season.
Yeah, like I said, with the older group, the junior class, Jaden Brown and Devontae Sweatman, George Strowski, those guys have been really good. They've been together for a while, so they understand. And then we added Kellen Amos last year, who was, a leading scorer, did a real good job for us. He comes back now. He's in a comfort zone because he understands our system. Jay Rogers, came from junior college. Same deal with Jay. He understands the system. And then, that's happened to work out for us. Alan Jean Rose transferred from Fairfield. I coached him at Fairfield his freshman and sophomore year. And now he's a grad. He's a fifth-year guy. So it's like, he was a little puppy when I saw him at Fairfield, and now he's a grown man. So it's been fun to coach him and just see his maturity in his fifth year.
Yeah, what's it like getting to coach a group of older guys now? Because I know you've been around for a while as an assistant at a number of places, so I'm sure you've dealt with younger teams, older teams. What's the biggest difference with having a team like this that's made up of some older guys?
Yeah, you can say like terminology. Like even AJ coming from another program, we can say our terminology and he understands what we're talking about. He can pick it up. So those guys pick up things really quickly. And the biggest thing I think is, we've been in practice. We one team will take away the offense. They'll know the player. They'll take away a play, and it gets down to a point where you just have to play basketball. And because they're older, they understand spacing, the ball movement, how to cut quicker. So just older guys understand. And the portal life, the portal world the last few years, I feel bad for the high school kids because a lot of programs are going after portal guys.
Yeah.
And so we were fortunate. We had 3 freshmen here, but a lot of portal guys, and it's a big difference. You can see you have to explain to the freshmen what's going on, where the older guys just know what basketball's all about. So yeah, coaching adults. You're coaching adults.
As you look into year three, I know it's not easy building a program back to where it once was, but as you've been working on building things back here at Central, each year your team has gotten progressively better. What are the goals you have for your team heading into year three?
Yeah, like putting all those juniors, that class has been here for a while. They've been took their lumps. Last year we had 9 games where we were winning in the second half that we lost. So we have to be better. We got to get better than that. We win those 9 games when we had 19 wins.
Yeah.
So we're right there right there at the door, knocking at the door. So now older, they understand how to finish games out. They understand, like I said, the terminology. Defensively, we can talk our way. I always say you can talk your way out of trouble on offense or defense. So the older guys can help us do that. So the goals, always been the same. When I was here as an assistant, we always said we wanted to win the conference regular season, the conference championship, tournament championship, and then go and advance in the NCAA tournament. So we set those goals really high, and we're going to try and strive for them every day, build toward those goals.
I remember during one of his early years at UConn, Coach Hurley talked about how hard it was for him to get his teams over that hump where, hey, they were like your team last year where you're in these games, you're leading in the second half and just can't quite pull them out. How tough is it to make that jump from, being competitive in these games to now turning the page and winning those types of games?
Yeah, it's little things. Like we give a quote of the day every day before practice, and one of the quotes this week was the little things lead to big things, and we got to do all the little things. So just watching film, we're talking about, are we getting to the corners, little details? Are we setting up our man on ball screens? Are we getting high hands on our closeouts? All those little things contribute to big things and wins at the end. So, we want to get better at the little things. And again, being older, those guys, when you're a freshman, you might say, oh, that's not a really big deal. But the older guys understand that's a big deal
Yeah.
to consistently do the little things. And it's going to help with games down the stretch and those 9 games in the second half.
Having this team, and as you look at the schedule you put together, you got a really interesting non-conference here, playing a bunch of mid-major teams around your level, a little bit above, and then you got a game against BC in there. You got some A10 games. Take me through the schedule that you put together and kind of what you hope to get out of that non-conference stretch before you begin NEC play.
Yeah, obviously we want the non-conference schedule to get us prepared for the NEC, and we open up with Rhode Island on November 6th.
Yeah.
Obviously a really tough, competitive, physical team. So we're going to have to bring it. But we talk about to our guys all the time, fellas. I think with our maturity and who we are, and we're older, we've been in some really hostile environments. We got to be able to compete versus the Rhode Islands, versus the UMasses, BCs of the world. Army's going to be a tough physical battle. So we put together a schedule that tests us and a lot of different type of ways teams play. We want some teams that play really fast. Quinnipiac historically has been really a fast-paced, up-and-down team. I imagine Rhode Island is going to be a tough, physical, half-court defensive boxing out. You got a box-out rebounding team. So we have a lot of teams that are going to test us at every level, and we're hoping that it'll get us prepared for our conference season.
I'm going to take a quick break from the interview to tell you about my friends at Martin Rosol's Meats. This fourth-generation Connecticut family business produces kielbasa, hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats using Martin Rosol's very own original recipes. Their products can be found in grocery stores, delis, restaurants, and hot dog stands throughout the state. And if you're looking for your fill right away, check out their retail store in New Britain. For more information, visit martinroselsinc.com and go support a UConn fan-owned business. And now, back to the interview. You talked about, bringing back a lot of these older guys here. For those who might just be kind of tuning into your program for the first time in a while this season, give us a little breakdown of this roster and the guys you have and what you're expecting from them this season.
Yeah, we start with, Kellen Amos was our leading scorer. Almost 14 and a half, 15 points a game. We need him, we said it to him. He needs to get to the free throw line more. He needs to get it to the basket more, finish around the hoop, and be able to post up a little bit with his size, because he's really athletic and he can play inside and outside. So he's a guy we're going to lean on a lot to score and be a two-way player. He's got to defend because he's so athletic. He should be able to guard, 1, 2, or 3s in our league. And he's been doing a good job in the preseason. Jay Rogers, averaged 9 points a game for us last year, and he has a scorer's mentality. His big thing was his defense. It's off the ball defense, and teams would take advantage of his off the ball defense. He's made a really big improvement of his off the ball defense. He's gotten it. He's into it so much. He's been sending me clips on off the ball defense. So if he defends like we think he can, he's going to be a really, really good player for us. Devontae Sweatman has probably been our biggest improvement from freshman to now as a junior. He was an undersized 2 guard, and now he's a veteran combo guard. He really knows how to play. I'm talking to the team, and I said, one thing Devontae does, he tries to do everything correctly every possession, and trying to play the right way. And
Yeah.
he's so much improved. So we really like Devontae and the way he's been playing. We got a transfer, Jordan Jones from South Carolina, who's actually from the same town I went to high school in, and just a super, super athletic combo guard, can shoot it, can drive it. He Division II transfer. He was second, third in the country in assists. He was top 3, 4 in steals. Got a great body, strong and physical. And one thing about like that D2 transfer, they're hungry to prove that they can play at the Division I level, as you saw last year at FDU.
Yeah.
With those guys. So he brings it every day, so energetic. And then Abdul Momo, our big, he started 30 games for us last year. He's gotten a lot better. This is actually Ab's probably 4th year of playing basketball, organized basketball. So he's getting better every day, learning, figuring it out. And then Jaden Brown and Joel Ostrowski, 2 other juniors in that junior class who've been around now. They understand what it's all about, and you can see those guys every day getting better and better. So we got a really good core, and then we added a couple of transfers, and then I can't say enough about Alan Jean Rose, 5th year grad transfer. Again, we make fun of him. I say, AJ, you're probably a couple years younger than me, but he's a veteran. He's played college basketball 4 years, understands defense, understands spacing. It's like having a coach on the floor. So we're really excited about AJ.
How big of an advantage do you think it is to have a guy like him and some of these veteran players who are back in this day and age in college basketball, where a lot of teams are kind of starting over, with roster management, year in and year out, guys are going and coming from the portal. So if you've got a group of guys you've worked with now for a couple of years here, and you got that core nucleus, how big of an advantage do you think that is for you and your team?
Yeah, it's we'll watch film as a group, and some of the veteran guys will step up and say, hey, look what's happening right here on offense. Look what's happening on defense. It's like having coaches on the floor. I go back to Fairfield. My second year at Fairfield, we made it to the MAC championship. And probably the last 6 to 8 games, Jesus Cruz was our veteran 5th year guy. Jesus was like a coach. He was helping our freshmen and sophomores and just talking to those guys while he's on the floor. And you can't say enough about having a guy on the floor. He can talk to the guys and get them in the right spots and get them doing the right things and playing the right way. So an advantage for you.
Yeah. I know you mentioned FDU a little bit earlier. I know you guys beat them once last year, and then you saw what they went to go on and do during the NCAA tournament. What do you think that says about your conference, and then kind of just the state of college basketball, where, a team from the NEC can go beat a 1 seed and one of the better teams in the country at the time?
Right. We played them here, and we were one of those games. We were winning in the second half of the game here, and we ended up losing that game. But we went down there and we played a complete game, finished it out strong, made some really good decisions down the stretch. But this league is so close. And again, now college basketball with the portal, with older guys, if you got a bunch of guys who really jump on board and believe in what you're doing and willing to sacrifice, older guys can go beat some younger 5-star players because they've been around basketball for longer. They understand it. They know, if even in the NBA, you look at guys who played 4 years in college, they might go undrafted, but those guys are in the rotations of NBA teams because they played 4 years over an 18, 19-year-old rookie. So It's just being around the game and understanding it gives you an advantage. So we think with a group of older guys, and if they're really bought in and really locked down on defense, you can give yourself a chance to win.
I'll wrap with this one. This one's a fun one. I noticed you've jumped into the podcasting game yourself a little bit. How are you liking that, and what you guys are doing in terms of some of the content there?
Hey, I'm no Jared Colton, man. I'm still. I got to take some pointers from you. You know what? We
can review the film after. No, I'm just kidding.
We're trying to. What we're trying to do is we're just trying to get our more alums and our fan base more engaged or whatever. Give them a little inside look. So we go back to my days as an assistant coach here, when we were really good. And Cordilleras was one of our best players, Rick Mickens. So we had those guys on the first 2 episodes just to kind of get some traction to see what happens. And we've had a lot of good feedback. Some of our alums and the former players are all into it. So we think we're going to get it to another level. Once we start playing games, we're going to get a couple of the guys from our team now
Yeah.
when they have a good game on for 10 or 15 minutes to kind of talk about what they had, what happened in the game or in practice or that week. And then we're going to branch out and talk to some of the NBA guys that I've coached or that Coach Wood and Coach Lenny coached. So we're going to try and experiment with it and, hopefully get to the level that you have yours at. We'll try and get ours there.
You're too kind. You're too kind. I love it and can't wait to follow it throughout the season there. But Coach, as always, I really appreciate you taking some time to come on. Look forward to seeing your team out there this season and best of luck. Well, I'm sure we'll talk throughout the year.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jared. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Anytime.